everyone! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Diana and this time I'm taking you with me on a European trip filled with food, art, and of course, journals. We had our connection flight in Iceland in the middle of nothingness for 6 hours. We were so tired and cold and we had nothing to do. So I journaled for a bit and drew my sister missing Air Canada. At least the airport had a colored glass hallway and it was really pretty, kind of like a preview of what we're gonna see in the next couple of weeks. Our first stop is Lisbon, Portugal. Lisbon has a lot of beautiful tiles all over the city. The outfit of my day. So I have a little backpack and my little goose, my little hand sanitizer, and my little backpack hooked to my little backpack. So this holds all my art supplies and this is just the essentials. And yeah. Our first lunch was at the Time Out Marketplace. Next we headed to the castle of St. George. There were a lot of peacocks hanging around. And also this is where my sister started her lifelong obsession with catching a pigeon for some reason.
姐在那儿摇摇摆摆的。Okay.
The castle has this little museum, and aside from all the beautiful tiles, we were blown away by the quality of the ceramics. I only started to appreciate ceramics after learning how hard it is to make them round and even throughout. We also tried some authentic Portuguese egg tart, but sadly we didn't like them at all. They were way too sweet and more custardy than eggy. I quickly sketched our Airbnb after we got dinner at a Vietnamese restaurant. Yes, we were eating Asian food on literally the first day in Europe. I didn't get a chance to ride one of those yellow trams, so I took a picture with a model at the airport. I mean, it's basically the same, right? And of course, the internet famous cafe up on the hills. The view was nice. It would probably be better if we came at sunset, but we had a plane to catch. Our next stop is Madrid. We stayed in the funniest Airbnb ever with a weird looking tiger plush. The bathroom of this place is literally right next to the bedroom. And there was no door. The kitchen is also right next to the bathroom. The only thing separating them is a translucent glass. Someone cooking can literally see whoever is pooping. Okay, enough of the crazy apartment. The next day we went to the plaza where a bunch of people were selling vintage stuff with a cup of cocoa in hand like a true Asian. That evening, we met up with a couple of my online friends. And they brought me a jelly-cat peanut. Of course, I named him Peanut. He's so tiny and so cute. This is easily the best evening of the whole trip. We had so much fun eating and chatting. The next day was mostly spent at the Prado Museum. Seeing so many artwork up close gave me a new perspective on a lot of artists. My two favorites are Goya and Velázquez. Lunch was at a Japanese restaurant. It was meh, but what came after lunch was definitely the highlight of my day. Churros! They were so good. The texture, the taste, the hot chocolate so dense it's almost a paste. Everything was perfect. The following day we went to Barcelona for Casa Bartolo and Sagrada Familia. Everything inside Bartolo feels like a fever dream. I felt like Alice stepping into Wonderland. I didn't know how architecture can be so organic. Before our Sagrada Familia appointment, we went to get another boba, durian and mochi. It was so good. It was already dark when we got back to Madrid, and we were starving, so we had this giant pizza. We didn't eat anything on the train because our coach, for some reason, smelled like the bathroom. It was so bad. Although we were starving, we refused to eat in the bathroom. The next day is Royal Palace and Reina Sofia Museum. We had lunch at Casa Salvador. It was my favorite meal of the entire trip. The oxtail was too good to be true, and the scrambled eggs was divine. I didn't know you can scramble eggs like that. It was so good. In the afternoon, I finally saw Guernica in person, and to my surprise, I liked the sketches way more than the finished painting. July 3rd, and we were off to Italy. Our first stop was Florence. Two people thought I was an airport employee when I was strolling in the airport. Do I give that kind of vibe? Anyway, our room in Florence felt like it was inside a medieval castle. It was huge and the ceiling was super high. Wallpaper also felt luxurious. The next morning we hit the bell tower, cause I couldn't manage to get the tickets for the dome. It was so humid and so hot. We were both dying of heat after we got down. I've been to Florence before with my high school, but I didn't get to see the Dome Museum. It had so many interesting pieces in there. I would definitely recommend if you haven't been. We had authentic pizza for lunch and authentic boba afterwards. Then it's time for the Uffizi Gallery. It was huge. I don't remember why I took no photos. Maybe it wasn't allowed. Or maybe I was just awestruck by all the paintings and sculptures. My favorite was Spring by Botticelli, of course. And for dinner, we ate takeout from a Chinese restaurant. By this point, it felt like collecting Asian cuisine Pokemon. We've already had Vietnamese, Japanese, Korean, and now Chinese. Our next stop is Milan. My sister was finally able to sneak up on a pigeon while feeding them. We only visited 3 places in Milan: Muji, where we bought a neck pillow, a really fancy cafe, and the Dome. We did the climb and went in afterwards. It was so beautiful, especially the stained glass windows and the tiles on the ground. The next day was pretty chill for us. We stayed mostly in our room because our legs hurt so much from all the walking that we could barely move. I did venture out to sketch, but I was caught in this pouring rain. It went from drizzle to someone opened a faucet under 15 minutes. We had some pasta for dinner and got ourselves ready for Venice the next day. Back in Florence for our last day, I went to the Pitti Palace and really liked some tiny paintings there. For some strange reason, I started craving for a traveler's notebook in Venice yesterday. I wanted one so bad that I walked all over the city to hit up a few stores that sell them. I went to this bookstore that has a section designed specifically for kids. It must be so nice having access to such a place as a kid. Our last stop is Rome. By this point, we couldn't feel our legs at all, but we still managed the Colosseum, Fontana di Trevi, Pantheon, Venetian Plaza, and Palatine Hill in one day. I don't know how we did it. I've also been to Rome before when I was way younger, but I didn't get a chance to visit the Sistine Chapel. This time I did, and to my surprise, I wasn't too impressed by it. Maybe I've had it on my mind for so long and it felt like I've already been. What did take my breath away was St. Peter's Basilica. I thought the Duomo in Milan was impressive until I saw this. It was definitely my favorite memory of the trip. On our last day, I went to Galleria Borghese. And it's time to say goodbye. We arrived in Chengdu 11 hours later, and that officially concluded our European adventure. This little journal has been through a lot with me. Let's put it back in its sleeve. Also, let me show you my watercolor sketchbook. I always bring art supplies when I travel, but I never use them. This time, I'm super proud of myself for finishing a little sketchbook. Okay, that's it for today. If you like this video, subscribe and follow for more. And hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye!